What's going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XLM to USD. We'll be looking at the current coin market cap, as well as the nice uptrend we're starting to see within the rest of the market. Yesterday, I was kind of bearish on the market ever so slightly, and I know it's seemingly proving otherwise, and I do want to speak upon that, as well as I have a very funny, interesting story to tell you guys in a second. Otherwise, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications. We're doing a giveaway at 10,000 subscribers. I believe we just broke 9,800, so we're pretty damn close. Otherwise, let's jump right into today's episode. So before I begin, I wanted to tell you a really quick funny story. So yesterday I decided to get a haircut, and I went to a barber that I've been going to probably maybe a year now since I've been home. Most of the time I'm getting haircuts upstate. So when I came home after college, I can get a haircut here in my hometown. And I go in, and one of the barbers was looking at me, and I was so confused. And he knows who I am because, he watches the channel, spoiler alert. And I was, he just looked at me and he was like, "You're that kid from YouTube who does Bitcoin." And I was like, "No way. Like, you're the first person who has ever recognized me outside of, outside, in the real world." And I was like, that's absolutely like crazy, blow my mind. It's wild. That literally is showing me that people are now starting to really watch not only my channel, but other people's channels and understand what cryptocurrency is and want a genuine interest because it's seemingly starting to take off again. So I was like, no way. How did you know me? He was like, I was looking up Bitcoin crypto videos and I searched Litecoin and your video popped up, and yeah, I saw you. He said he was watching it a couple weeks, last week or a week and a half ago. He saw that video. So that's absolutely wild. You know who you are if you were the one that I met at the barbershop. So shout out to you. That's freaking awesome. And that made my day. And I think that's absolutely wild. Can't wait to meet more, fans of the channel, walking around. I'm sure you'll pick me off or recognize me. I look pretty, different than most other people, but I don't know. Otherwise, let's just move into the current market cap. Get on with that. If you have any comments or anything you want to talk about that stuff, definitely leave it down below. I'd love to read it. I'm from Long Island. So if you're from Long Island, you might bump into me too, and I work at an exotic car company called Cloud9 Exotics, so if you wanted to stop by, there's your opportunity. Otherwise, guys, you can see the market cap is 253 billion with a 24-hour volume of 69.2 billion and a Bitcoin dominance of 55.6%. Now, there's a couple of things to take note of, which we're starting to go up. Volume is starting to creep in. Market cap is starting to move up. We did see a major drop yesterday, so I guess you could say I was correct to be bearish. I was correct to see that retracement, and we've just started to now see this spike upwards. And I want to look at my previous charts to kind of see what exactly is going on, why we're starting to take off now. Litecoin has literally been taking off. It really didn't experience much of a retracement. It's been, moving in that upwards direction compared to all the other coins which have had a steep retracement following Bitcoin. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Bitcoin Cash, EOS, they have all been, falling down or retracing pretty hard. So to see us start to move back up, it's pretty nice. We definitely hit a support and we're starting to trade back up. But, we're in the number 4th spot, quite a bit away from Bitcoin Cash, actually, almost $1 billion off from Bitcoin Cash. I told you how crazy these markets fluctuate in a couple of days. XRP is a pretty big one to bump past, but out of these 4, it does look very nice to have this lined up. This is a great order. Obviously, I'd like to see Litecoin in number 3 and bump out XRP, but there's a pretty big significant volume gap and market size, so we need literally like another 9 billion into Litecoin, which I know is possible, but that would bump us in front of XRP. Now we do have Bitcoin at 7,900, below its $8,000, Ethereum at 240, Litecoin 126, wild, and yeah, the markets do look good. Where's Stellar XLM? XLM is number 10, and it is up 1% at 0.12. We'll be looking at Stellar Lumens today. Moving on, though, to the current coin market cap, looking at the charts, you can see we did blast off, and that's actually quite wild. You'll notice that we are, it's definitely very interesting, because you can see we were tracking this for quite some time, and I did say, and I remember in yesterday's video, I was anticipating a retracement downwards like that. a movement here, and then I drew something like this where we could either break to the upside or the downside. Now, the hardest thing with these charts is I'm a busy dude. I gotta go to school, I'm taking summer classes, I have a full-time job, and I do YouTube as well. So it's really difficult for me to be watching these charts 24/7. You know what I'm saying? So that's why stop limit and limit orders and stop losses, they come in. I've been saying if we can break the resistance at 115, it would be smart to buy in right above there where that confirmation is, and then ride the wave up. Unfortunately, I wasn't using any of those, and I wasn't looking at my phone or anything or a computer at the time, so I missed out on the run. But that's okay. We still do have potential to go higher, guys, but understand we are nearing the overbought market, so there's not much more room we can head up after this. We did see that retracement, which was nice, but we're headed right back to the overbought line, so it's going to be interesting. Also, this, I believe, is a new high of this year for Litecoin, which is pretty wild. You can see exactly where resistance is now hitting. So let me draw that in for you guys, because that is an obvious one right there. Right about here, you can see where we had resistance here, and we had right there. And you can see where that opened up a new channel. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not we're going to hang out, play on top of the previous resistance, trade out sideways, and then start to use the purple uptrend as a means of moving higher. So I'm now going to extend our purple ascending wedge, because this may lead us to higher levels, as well as the bottom support. Bam, just like that. Cool. So, we're starting to see this get much smaller. We're starting to travel up above here. With the way these markets are holding, it's easy to see a retracement back down and a movement up. I'm really, semi-bearish on this because of the fact that we're nearing overbought, and I know you guys hopefully can relate to that. I know there was this bullish run, and I did actually hear a bunch of you guys on Patreon who said they took advantage of this and rode this wave up, so huge shout out to you guys. For those of you who are new to the channel, don't know what Patreon is a way to get access to my exclusive charts that are live updating. This way you guys can stay current and up to date with everything. We're about to, I think, hit 90 patrons, on our way for my goal of 100 patrons. So if you guys want to support the channel, check it out. It's a way to get into contact with me one-on-one if you have any questions. I highly recommend it, and it's a way to get all of my charts that I do, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XLM, whatever you want on the channel. So it's pretty awesome. As for Bitcoin, I know we're getting kind of late, about 7.5 minutes in. I want to just wrap it up, but you can see that we did... Bitcoin is so hard to graph. I really want to look at Ethereum. That's the big one. I'm just going to skip over there and then come back to Bitcoin. Yeah, so you can see right here what exactly I was referring to, why we saw the dip. So this is why I was saying Ethereum is the best coin to be tracing right now and to be tracking, because it's the easiest to read. You'll notice we literally just bounced off of this bottom support right here and shot up. So that's why I'm saying it's harder to judge off Litecoin. So when people say, oh, you missed out on this run, well, we got to look at Ethereum and the other cryptos to really gauge where that movement was. Hard to see it right here. You could say the 7650 was the bottom support, but Ethereum is what shows this so clear as day. You can see we literally bottomed off right here, literally right at the bottom, and then we started to retrace back up. We did have some wicks, but we closed the candle right above, and now we're starting to head up. So it looks great, honestly. There's really no issues with this, charting. And that's why I say Ethereum is looking really good in terms of graphing, and it pretty much is showing us the, the light to the market and what exactly is going to happen. So now we can play up, we can move up like this, or we can head straight up to here. Litecoin is having more issues nearing overbought. Ethereum is literally trading at 52, so it's got plenty of room to run and raise the market with it. So it's definitely going to be interesting, but I could be kind of bullish on here, and we could potentially see another retest of 270. It's going to be interesting. Litecoin may enter an overbought market, but we may start to see Ethereum head up and retest 270 before we see that next retracement. And that same thing goes with Bitcoin too. Lastly, you can see another, dead giveaway is Stellar Lumens. Well, why did we see the market swing up? Stellar Lumens hit its daily high-low MMA, and it found bottom support, and it shot up. So definitely some easy calls right here all around the board. I do want to draw in this right here. You can see where that's a resistance and a support. There is kind of, I want to say, a downtrend, and then we'll kind of wrap things up with today's episode. But there's kind of a downtrend on this coin. I'm starting to see. If that holds true, yes, something along the lines of this. There could be a descending triangle forming. So it looks like it comes to a point right at around June 16th, which isn't too much later. But all in all, the coin does look very nice. You know, you'll notice that when you want to graph, you want to look at all the cryptocurrencies, not just hone in on one, because that could swing your opinion. You want to look at all of them, get a conglomerate of data, figure out how they all relate to each other, and then kind of find the mean of that, you know, make a chart based off all of those coins. And that chart will be the one that's easiest to graph. And then you can watch, you know, how well you can graph these charts. So when I recommend you guys, when you guys are investing, at least, if you're going to invest into Litecoin, look at other cryptocurrencies and look at how they're trading with or against Litecoin, and then see if those look like a little bit easier to graph than the others. Otherwise, guys, that's going to sum up today's episode. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, giveaway at 10K, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's episode. Peace.